Throughout history, the concept of peace has been a central theme in Christian thought. In this video, we will explore the rich Christian tradition that opposes war, rooted in both Scripture and the writings of early Church Fathers. Isaiah 2:3-4 speaks of a time when nations will no longer lift up swords against each other, when weapons of war will be transformed into tools of peace. The prophet foresees a world where neither shall they learn war anymore. This vision of a peaceful future is foundational to the Christian message. In the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus taught non-retaliation. You have heard that it was said, "An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth." But I tell you, do not resist an evil person. Whoever slaps you on your right cheek, turn to him the other also. Matthew 5:38-41. Jesus himself modeled this principle when he rebuked Peter for using violence during his arrest, saying, "Put your sword in its place, for all who take the sword will perish by the sword." Matthew 26:52. When Jesus was questioned about his kingdom, he clarified, "My kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world, my servants would fight. But now my kingdom is not from here." John 18:36. His teachings call his followers to a higher standard of peace. The early church continued this commitment to peace. Justin Martyr, writing in the 2nd century, said, "We who formerly murdered one another now refrain from making war even upon our enemies." Church fathers like Athenagoras and Clement of Alexandria reinforced this message. Athenagoras wrote, "We have learned not to return blow for blow, nor to go to law with those who plunder and rob us. We offer the other cheek also." Clement emphasized that Christians are trained not in war, but in peace. The image of swords being turned into plowshares resonates throughout early Christian writings. Irenaeus observed how Christians formed their swords and war lances into plowshares, that is, into instruments used for peaceful purposes. This transformation symbolizes the Christian call to reject violence in favor of cultivating peace. Tertullian, a prominent early Christian theologian, argued that Christians could not serve in the military. "How will a Christian man participate in war?" he asked. "In fact, how will he serve even in peace without a sword? For the Lord has taken the sword away." Tertullian was adamant that Christians were called to serve only one master, Christ, not the state or its armies. Lactantius, writing in the early 4th century, declared that it is always unlawful to put a man to death, whom God willed to be a sacred creature. He envisioned a world where, if only God were worshipped, there would be no dissensions or wars, for all would know that they are sons of one God. Christians of the early church believed that peace was not just a political or social stance, but a core expression of their faith. Cyprian wrote that even though Christians were often persecuted, it is not lawful for the innocent to kill even the guilty. The Christian tradition continues to challenge believers to embrace peace in all aspects of life. Lactantius envisioned a world where nations would abandon war, saying that if all men without exception would lend an ear to his peaceful rules, the world would live in peaceful tranquility. By turning away from violence and embracing the teachings of Christ, Christians are called to be peacemakers, to embody a kingdom not of this world, and to live out the transformative power of love. Thank you for joining us in this exploration of the Christian opposition to war. Remember, in a world full of conflict, we are called to be instruments of peace.